Imagine you're one of America's founding fathers. You and your associates are trying to free yourselves from the tyranny of a colonial oppressor. To do so, you must wage war against the richest and most powerful nation on earth. And you need money badly. What do? Where do you find the vast amounts of money you need to fight a revolution? Well, what if you learned of an island that had a maze of secret underground vaults filled with gold and priceless objects? And what if your name is Benjamin Franklin?
Everybody knows that Benjamin Franklin was very smart. He is what we today would call an entrepreneur in many different lines of business. An intellectual who was interested in the Enlightenment, the Age of Reason.
He had an intellectually greedy mind. He wanted to know everything. He wanted to know everybody, which is why he was made such an excellent scientist and diplomat as well.
Benjamin Franklin was dispatched to France to acquire support for the revolution. And of course, France and the 13 colonies, mutual enemy was England.
Benjamin Franklin's overtures for support were welcomed with open arms, both figuratively and literally.
There was already French political support for the rebels because it favoured French foreign policy that England would wrap up its finances in a highly expensive and eventually almost ruinous war with the colonists.
We already saw the drums of war of the revolution beginning and invested a great deal of money in America. French people did assist in the creation of the United States against the British in a big way, even including funding, supplying of troops, goods and food and everything.
In addition to being a charming and clever negotiator, Benjamin Franklin also possessed another important asset.
Benjamin Franklin was a very important figure, not only in United States history, but in Masonic history as well. He was a Grand Master of the state of Pennsylvania.
Franklin established very important ties through Masonry to help fund the war effort and establish this new country of ours was when he was our ambassador to France. Franklin became the head of the most important Masonic lodge in France. That lodge included some of the most famous French people. And I'm talking about people from the nobility, directly related to the king.
Franklin pulled out all the stops with every kind of contact that he could possibly find. And so there's no question that he would have used his contacts from the Masonic Lodge in Paris. Ben Franklin was trying to get money out of him to finance the revolution.
Franklin was able to secure funding, loans from France, and even more importantly, reach out to military officers, not only in France, but from around Europe, who were Freemasons, who would then come to the United States. Almost every single European military officer who came and served under George Washington during the War of Independence was a Freemason. And Franklin played the most important role in recruiting.
By skillfully garnering support for the revolution from wealthy French Masons, Franklin was able to secure badly needed financing. But there were those who believed that money from Franklin's Masonic brethren was not the only source of funding he was offered while in France. According to some Oak Island theorists, it was while in France that both Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson were introduced to a wealthy French family by the name of Rochefoucauld, who had an impressive aristocratic lineage that stretched all the way back to the days of the Knights Templar.
The Rochefoucauld family is one of the most notable, wealthy, aristocratic families in France. There is a connection among their members of the family and their circles around them when the Knights Templar came to be. So the idea was to try to unify Europe through commerce, trade, and finance, and they played a big role.
There is a distinct link between the Rochefocaulds and Benjamin Franklin. He was a polymath, a statesman. He was invested into the Rochefoucauld family. He was friends with one of the individuals, Louis Alexander. There are letters that exist between the two men.
3 decades earlier,